And hello. Today,
Hello.
I am so excited to be once again for another episode of my LinkedIn Lunchtime chat with another phenomenal client, Patti, and she'll introduce herself just a moment. But so I'm Clarine Mitchell, owner of TCM Communications. My whole focus mission with my business is helping success driven professionals and businesses leverage LinkedIn effectively so that they can shine online and more importantly, get results. So I work with my clients either one-on-one with virtual sessions or group sessions for corporate and other clients. And I do event speaking. But again, it's all about getting results from LinkedIn, having some results, some action, some follow through from being on a platform as opposed to it just being about social fun, entertainment, all of that. No, LinkedIn is about getting results. Okay, so enough of that. Again, I'm excited to have Patti. I have been having a phenomenal fun week this week interviewing clients, and it's been every client is different. And especially today, I'm excited because Patti has an interesting business that I never heard about until I connected with her. And so I'm excited to have her here so more people can learn about what she specializes in. And so now, Patti, it's time for you to introduce yourself. So, Patti Plough, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. I'm Patti Plough, and I am the owner of Excel Legacy Group.
Mhm.
And Excel Legacy Group was founded because a company that I was involved with since 1990 and have owned since 2011. We there were I had partners in the business. We did employer sponsored health care. And in June of 2020, we transitioned our company into an ESOP. And for those of you that are not
What's the
familiar,
ESOP? What does that mean? Is that a fable? Is that what does that mean?
it's actually an employer sponsored, or I'm sorry, employer stock ownership plan. So, in other words, what we did is we sold our company to our employees at no cost to them.
Wow.
So, we looked at different options. We had been approached by companies looking to purchase us. And during that time, we discovered the benefits of ESOPs to both the shareholders and to the employees.
Mm,
And that is the reason that we chose to go the ESOP route, is because we wanted to reward the employees that helped us build the company
mm,
with ownership in the company. And
wow.
this was a perfect way to do it without it costing them anything,
Wow.
but only benefiting them. And so, as of June 5th, 2020, I transitioned from my role of CEO and president and CEO of operations to a seat on the board at the company that we just transitioned into an ESOP.
Wow. That
After that, I'm the one that spearheaded the ESOP concept with the other owners. I was the one that heard about it first
mhm.
and shared it with the other owners. And so I am extremely passionate about getting the word out there to other business owners that are looking to transition, looking into succession planning. What options are there versus selling to a third party? And this is why I'm so passionate about it. And in addition, I have been called the ESOP evangelist because of
Yes.
my passion for sharing the ESOP story with other business owners
Good
and getting the word out there.
good for you getting the word out. And again, until we met and only recently we met, I never heard of ESOP. And
Yeah.
I love the concept, the whole process of those who built the company, as far as put the work in, the sweat, their skill and expertise, their years of commitment and dedication to the company, being able to benefit, as opposed to, as you mentioned, a third party entity coming in and buying the company and possibly pushing them out or
Right.
whatever the case would be. I think that is such a phenomenal concept where it benefits all those on the founder side, but then those on the employee side as well. And to do it without even having to pay anything
Right.
financially. Wow. So how has that experience been for the employees? Like since then, what was their initial response to the idea and how have they benefited from it since then?
Well, I can tell you that with COVID involved,
Yeah.
the launch of the ESOP did not go exactly as I planned it.
Yeah.
I also own another company called Speakers and Events or Us, which is an event production company and a speakers bureau. So I have been around corporate events for many, many years and produced corporate events for many, many years. And so my vision was to celebrate our employees.
Mm,
And I had planned a party of parties to celebrate them and to announce the ESOP to them.
mm.
And COVID took that opportunity away, like it has with many
Yes,
events, live events. And
yes.
so we had to go a different route. And that route, the route that we went, didn't have the impact. They're understanding they're understanding the benefits of the ESOP and they continue to learn the benefits of the ESOP, but it's not the same as
Right.
having a party in their honor.
But they're
And
still employed, they're still with the company,
they're
right?
still with the company, they're still employed.
Uh-huh.
But my plan was to have
Not
a
the
huge
owners.
banner on the outside of the building, welcome the new owners of Helix.
It still can
And then,
come. It still can come. It's just delayed.
yes, and to celebrate them because honestly, myself and the other shareholders wouldn't be where we are today without them. They
Right,
deserve to be celebrated.
right,
And unfortunately, the current circumstances took that away from us. But if honestly, if any of them are listening right now, I want to express that we did this for you as a thank you for being there for us and helping us build the company to what it is today. And not only that, what it can be in the future. Because now the future, you're part of the future as a shareholder in the company. You
right.
are part of it, you're part of the growth. And I celebrate you today because of you being there for us from the beginning. Some of you joined us later on. And I just celebrate you right now, even though we couldn't celebrate
Right.
and do the party we planned. Know how important you are to us.
Nice. When this COVID is over, there's going to be so much making up to do in a lot of different ways. And that will be one
Absolutely.
of the priorities I see for you. But again, so it's great concept and the employees being able to benefit as well as those founders as they go to the transition of the next level in their lives as well. And they can do it in peace and know that the legacy is continuing with those who put their work into it. Um,
Absolutely.
so that's great. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Miss Aesop Evangelist. I love when clients have monikers, because it helps to personify and push your brand out there more when you have that moniker or that
Yes.
professional, that business nickname. So good for you.
Thank
Um,
you.
so let's talk about really why, because you've been an entrepreneur for roughly how long?
I started my entrepreneurial journey in 1990, so almost 31 years.
So I'm a rookie at it, kind of, sort of. I'm only in 3 years, but so you have a wealth of expertise and experience with being an entrepreneur. But if you can, like, take us back briefly of how you ended up going into being an entrepreneur. Like, how did you get that bug? What, how did it get started for you?
In 1990, my background is nursing,
Hmm.
and I worked as a bedside nurse for 15 years prior to embarking on my entrepreneurial journey.
Okay.
And it started when I started doing insurance physicals and investigations.
Okay.
And through that, I met individuals that actually introduced me to the former owner of Helix. I I did a physical on a gentleman down in Chicago,
Okay.
and he asked me if we had any wellness programs, and I told him I would get back to him. And none of the companies, I had worked for 5 paramedical exam companies at the time,
Hmm.
and none of them had heard about wellness.
Mm.
And so I decided to look in the phone book, and I found the one and only wellness company,
Oh, wow.
one and only in Milwaukee.
At that time, right.
At that time, yes, there's many today, but he was one of the first, and I made an appointment with him, and we just hit it off and bonded.
Hmm.
And at the time, he was so cutting edge that he had just lost his one and only client, the Milwaukee Public School Systems, because of budget cuts.
Okay.
And when like I said, we just bonded when we met.
Okay.
And he ended up going on the appointment with me down to Chicago. And
Okay.
then we decided that we were going to go out and do sales, get clients. I, being a nurse, could service all the business that we had at the time. So I was actually the first examiner that worked for Helix at the time.
Okay.
And and then we grew from there through purchasing Helix in 2011 when the founder retired, to then acquiring companies along the way, competitors, and then merging with a company that increased our portfolio to offer on-site and near-site clinics.
Wow.
So we were specializing in wellness and coaching, and
Way
and then
before it became trendy, huh?
right, since 1990. And actually, Lee Cord, the founder of Helix, was doing it since 1985.
Wow.
I met him in 90.
Okay.
And then fast forward, when we sold the company to our employees in 2020, we had a full portfolio of services for our clients, including, because of COVID, we had COVID solutions as well for our clients. That right before I transitioned to the board, we worked on a entire product line to service the needs of clients with COVID,
Oh, great.
which will include vaccines when they
Oh, wow.
become available. So that
Oh,
will be a part of our product line. Uh,
exciting news. Breaking
yes,
news right here.
yes, yep,
Okay, so 30 years into life of entrepreneurship, and now you're just taking another journey, starting another journey in that, or another chapter in being
another
an
chapter.
entrepreneur with Excel Legacy. So group, great, great. So let's talk a little bit about how we met. Because
Sounds good.
how we met was, and I felt when you said that you had this immediate connection with the founder or the individual you mentioned before with Helix.
Yes.
I thought the same thing with you and I, because when we met, it's like it was a, it was a match, right? I just fell in love with you in so many ways. So we met because of a mutual connection of ours, Denise Salamoni, with the Metropolitan Milwaukee Association of Commerce, because we're both members of the Commerce, and you've been a leader with the Commerce for some time, but that's how we met. But talk about how the experience of having a LinkedIn power session with me, how that went for you. Um, I I'm going to say this. So when we met, I loved, one of the reasons why I felt so in love with you is your energy and your passion for what you do. But the statements you made about how, in talking about again your career as an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, you had teams, right? You had staff,
I
you
did.
had people who did things for you, right? You
Yep.
had you would have meetings and you would just walk in the room and everything would be set up and ready to go where you didn't have to worry about certain details and technology and all of that. So I said all that to say LinkedIn was a whole new world for you. And
It
especially
was.
now with your business and being able to do things for yourself, I loved how you wanted to learn, not wanted me to, because I offer options where if people are understandably busy and they don't have time to manage their LinkedIn or to create the profiles themselves, or to do the content. I have clients who I go in and I ghost their accounts. I give their accounts executive looks and make sure they're all optimized and get them started with content and their network. You were like, no, I want to do this. I want to learn how to do this. You could have easily given it to me to do and it would have all been done and that would have been it. But you wanted to learn, and not just learn, you've been doing it. So talk about the LinkedIn Power Session experience and just how it changed your perspective at all, if at all, about LinkedIn and how you're using it now.
I am honestly, since our sessions, I have been having so much fun with LinkedIn, and you are 100% right about the connection. I felt the same connection with
Oh,
you,
thank you.
that it was just like it was automatic, and we bonded. And honestly, you make it so simple to learn. And one of the areas that I am not, I don't have major skill sets in technology. Okay. And being that I was behind the scenes in operations for
Yeah,
many years,
right.
I missed the learning curves myself because I had people setting up the Helix LinkedIn, setting up my page so it matched Helix's and the brand. And I very seldom even went on there because I was very busy running the company.
Oh my goodness, you admitted it, but that's no longer the case.
Well, with at one time as many as 200 employees, um, it kind of ruled my life.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Um, and when you start, you're running the machine, and then pretty soon, when you get to that stage, the machine is kind of running you. Okay.
Right, to keep things going. Yes.
So I I cannot thank you enough because I knew that I had a deficit when I missed that learning curve with social media. Excuse me a minute.
No worries. That's why, again, when we connected, being able to not just do it for you, you do it and do it successfully, showcasing. You okay?
I am I have asthma,
Oh,
and
okay.
so
Take care of you. Just stop whenever you need.
I've had it for
I'll,
many years, and I just when I talk a lot, then I cough.
okay, and then I'll fill in the gap. I'll talk. But
Sounds
so
good.
you again, not taking the easy way out and having me do it, but you doing it and embracing it. Because quite often, many people in certain age demographics, I'll just say, feel there's a mental barrier, right? And there's a hesitation, a fear that they can't do it or they can't do it right, or it's only for younger people, or it's not worth their time. But you dispel all of that because you're on it and you're doing, and again, in a short period of time, because we just connected. So your first session with me was just November 6th. So less than a month ago, right about a month ago, but you embraced it. And another thing that I loved about the experience of working with you or having you as a client, all my clients get homework. Like seriously, all my clients get homework because it's that accountability and making things happen right away. Your homework is done. There's no fault. There's no, I have to like follow up and like nudge you or remind you or like the homework is done. I go on your profile looking to see and it's done. I don't have to question you about it. And so I love that that accountability you put on yourself to make it happen as well.
Well, after running a company the size of Helix, if you didn't take care of things right away and what I call getting them off your plate,
Right.
you wouldn't have been able to manage, your job. And
Right.
so I learned a long time ago that when you have something to do,
Right.
you do it immediately and get it off your plate because you have no idea what's coming next,
Right. So
and
you
you
have
want
to
to be able to
prepare.
give that your full attention. So, but thank you, and I've been having so much fun doing it that and learning instead of having someone else do it for me. I remember when you had asked and offered that you could do it, and I said no. I've done that for too long and it has put me at a disadvantage. And so that is why I wanted to do it myself. And I'm having so much fun doing it and following the guidance that you've given me and watching my network grow, watching my connections grow, watching people engage. It's fun. It's
Yes.
fun.
I don't know why people or are because people are so used to other platforms like Facebook or others where they feel like LinkedIn is too stuffy, right? So I love hearing you say that you're having fun with it because I feel the same way. I say it's the wonderful world of LinkedIn and you can have fun on the platform as well. It's just a different kind of fun. It's a fun in a professional, business, intellectual kind of way versus it being fun like on Facebook or Twitter, the other platforms where it's more about entertainment or socializing or family or it, but it still can be fun. So what advice would you give, Patti, to others in your demographic, I'll say age demographic, in your generation? What one key advice would you give to them if they're like in the position that you was in a month ago, where they're hesitant and fearful of getting on LinkedIn and shining online? What would you tell them?
I would tell them to contact you.
Not that. Okay, that too, but
I would
okay, we
say,
did not rehearse this, but okay.
no, we didn't, but it's the truth because, like I said earlier, I have like Helix was a data company, okay, and IT is not one of my specialties. So if you would have been really technical in 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 your power sessions, I probably it would have been
Lost it.
harder for me. Exactly. But the way that you walked me through everything,
Mm,
I was able to grasp it and run with it. And so what I
run.
would that's why I'm saying I would refer them to you because you don't get too technical.
Mhm.
You taught me on a level that I could understand. And there's something to be said for that.
Oh, thank
I You're welcome. I mean it with all my heart because I mean, like I said, if you get too technical, it's way over my head.
right. And then nothing happens, right? And then you stay stagnant and you don't embrace the platform and really use it and start getting those results. So my
Right.
whole approach is to empower my clients. And so to empower them, I really infuse into you that confidence and that understanding of the platform. I really want people to connect with Patti, not just if if you have ESOP kind of questions or you want to know about it because maybe you're considering it for your business endeavor, but just because she's a phenomenal person. And I want you to support her and her content. She has this wonderful graphic that's called the ESOP Evangelist, where she breaks down, and even her content where she's breaking down the myths associated with ESOPs, so people can get a better understanding. But just support my friend Patti because she is so dynamic, has a wealth of information, and as you can see, her energy and her passion comes through with what she does. So how can people best connect with you and learn more about your business, what you do, your expertise? Of course, LinkedIn, and you have, let me make sure because I got to remember, yes, you have your LinkedIn company page so they can follow
I
that.
do. I
Hmm.
do. And then I have a website,
Hmm.
which is excellegacy.com.
Okay.
And and I have an email that you can reach me at Patty with an I at excellegacy.com. So
Okay.
those are two ways in addition to um, LinkedIn, which has my contact information
Right.
on
That's
it.
what I was just looking at the bottom. The
Yes,
profile people can see, or if they're on a computer, go to the contact information they can see. But great, great, great. Anything else you'd like to share before I wrap this up?
I just want to briefly share a couple of the benefits of ESOPs that I did not know. I knew, and my partners knew, and basically everybody I talked to, but maybe one or two people thus far, they knew that an ESOP was employee owned. Okay, they had that much information. But what they didn't know is a number one, if you aren't ready to transition out of your company, you can literally stay on in your position. You can sell your company to your employees, stay on in your position, and stay in control of your company
Wow.
with your salary.
Wow.
In addition, now there were 6 partners total at Helix,
Hmm.
and 5 of us chose to retire and were on the board. 4 of us are on the board. One chose to stay on in his position,
Oh,
and he is there to this day, and working in his previous position, previous salary, and so he was able to do that. And so if you're not ready to transition, you can stay on as long as you want with
wow.
your company. So when you are ready to exit, your company's already sold.
Right.
So you don't have to go through that process.
Right.
And you're there with your team. Now I'm there on the board, and that's a decision you can make as well. You can be on the board
Okay.
or you can stay on in your current employment position.
Okay.
In addition to that, you are guaranteed fair market value for your company.
Right. I've seen that be one of your posts, and that right
Right.
being a big myth about how, it's the short end of the stick kind of process, and that's not the actuality.
Right. And for the employees get an actual windfall retirement benefit that they don't have to, like with the 401k, they have to contribute to.
Right.
They don't have to contribute to this at all. And just 2 companies that I have read articles on recently, one of them over the last 10 years have grown by 400%
Wow.
from what they originally were. The employees all get to benefit from that.
Benefit from that.
Right. There was another article that I just posted on LinkedIn that when they transitioned to an ESOP, their employees automatically were made millionaires with this retirement plan.
Oh my,
And
okay. So
so
people connect with Patti on LinkedIn. Look at her previous posts, follow her content so you can stay informed with this information that she provides on a daily basis, that she's making content on LinkedIn. I'm so proud of her, dispelling the myths and just overall educating. So thank you everyone for joining us again for another LinkedIn Lunchtime Chat. Always remember to shine online with LinkedIn so you're able to generate results.
thank you.